Welcome to the Pharos Fit podcast, where we help you to explore your capacity to move better, push further, and achieve your limitless potential through fitness, nutrition, recovery, and lifestyle. Hey guys, welcome back to the Pharos Fit podcast. Good to be back with you guys. It's been a little moment, so here we are again, and I'm pleased to be here. And I'm with my dear wife, Emylee Vodden. You did actually officially change your name.
I am an official Vodden now.
She's an official Vodden, which is kind of cool.
Just kind of.
Yeah. And guess what, guys? We have been in Idyllwild for 1 year.
Woohoo!
So it's basically our 1 year anniversary of the Pharos Mountain Lodge. So we kind of wanted to check in with you guys, let you know kind of what's been going on, what's been happening, where we are, where we're going, all that kind of stuff. Because it has been a very busy year and a lot has changed and a lot has grown. So Em, let's go back to the beginning. What the hell are we doing here?
You mean all the way back in the beginning?
Let's go all the way back.
When we found this place?
Well, let's go back. I mean, it was the pandemic. It was, you know, we obviously, like everybody, we were going through like a tough time with work, with LA, with the whole kind of situation. I think we were both kind of feeling a little bit stuck.
Needed to do some soul searching.
Needing to just try and do something new and something exciting.
And timeline-wise, we came to Idyllwild in May of 2020 first. Right. But then remember, we went on other excursions. We basically used all of 2020 to do like lone road tripping, you know?
Yeah, we went to Montana.
We went all over.
I got to live my Yellowstone dream.
It's true, you did. And it was kind of like, is it out of LA? Is it out of California? Like, what do we want for ourselves and our family? And then, of course, with everything being up in the air with gyms at that point, it kind of felt like we had to make this choice personally because we weren't quite sure what was going to happen with the business and what was going to happen with the future of, you know, the fitness industry and da-da-da. So we're like, okay, we've been dedicating our lives to this purpose for the past several years. And this is where we are now. Like we need to sow our own garden a bit, you know, we need to see what's going to fulfill us and, you know, what's the right thing to do for our family, despite what happens with the pandemic and with the industry and all of that. So I think at the time we were just kind of in like a, what do we need personally? What kind of environment do we want to be around? What kind of place do we want Wyatt to grow up in? Yeah. And so that's kind of how it all started.
And also, like, I mean, me and you both have kind of an entrepreneurial spirit, and we're always like looking for what the next move might be. And with the gym situation, the way it was, we knew we couldn't open another PHAROS Athletic Club. We weren't going to like risk another facility like that because we didn't know what was going to happen with the industry and we didn't know where it was all going. So our project here felt like something that was doable, something that was achievable, something on a smaller scale. And of course, it was still a big risk. We didn't know whether it was going to work. We didn't know exactly what it was going to look like. There's going to be a lot of kind of trial and error and figuring things out. But it wasn't a huge gamble like Pharos Athletic Club was.
Totally. As opposed to $1 million facility. It's like, you know, coming in and being like, okay, for us, it was more of a scaling the type of experience, like moving Pharos beyond the four walls and us kind of playing around with like, okay, well, since it, you know, 22,000 square foot space that then turned into a virtual studio that kept us alive, you know, a virtual community that kept us alive during the pandemic. And then of course being outside and all of that, it let us know that like, I mean, this sounds a little bit silly, but like Pharos really is a community and not just a space, or like Pharos is that feeling, you know, and how do we scale that feeling and that experience without it being a you know, a brick and mortar like location type thing. So I think that's kind of where we were at least started planting the seed of retreats and the experience, and can we help people kind of get out of the city in the same way that we wanted to get out of the city. Like we love LA and we love everything that we're doing in Echo Park and for Pharos, but it was kind of like, you know, we have this yearning to go somewhere else. I bet other people do too. And I bet that they, you know, and so can we share our experience and all the things that we get out of the magic of these mountains, you know, with other people. So
yeah, and I think also it allowed us to kind of increase the vision of the brand beyond like a one location thing. like I said, even though it wasn't like another huge gym like Pharos Athletic Club, it was an extension of it, and it allowed us to branch out into another wing of the
of course,
of the
even just
business.
from a business perspective, like, you know, thinking of all the people working on the project, and okay, what does this mean? You know, what equipment do we need? Okay, how do we differentiate between Echo Park and any other location? Like, it allowed us to start having those conversations of scaling in a tiny way, but we got to start, you know, so instead of it being like, okay, location number 2 and here's it was kind of like, well, what does happen if we have a graphics department that works on all of the locations of Pharos? And you know, so it allowed us to kind of work on scaling in a tiny way for our business as well, not just the experience for the community, but also like from the back end. I feel like we grew up as a business a lot, and
we had
to have a lot more systems in place and a lot more clarity and communication, and of course, you know, hiring and promoting people at Pharos to kind of play more of a role while we were gone. So yeah, we kind of put on our big boy pants.
Yeah.
And grew up a little bit.
I mean, the hardest thing about growing a small business, especially when it's a family business like ours is, and something that is very dear to you and something you love very much, is that at a certain point you have to step away from the day-to-day operations and focus on the bigger picture. And that's something I've always personally struggled with. You know, I loved teaching classes. I loved the 6 a.m. club. I loved that whole thing. I love seeing everybody, and I still love seeing everybody. But of course, I realize that if we're going to grow, if we're going to expand this thing, we need to bring people up within the business. We need to offer better employment opportunities. We need to create, you know, management positions, and trust people to run our baby the way that we want it to be run. And I think broadly speaking, we've done a pretty good job of that. I think we have a great team at Pharos Athletic Club. I think we've made some great improvements since the pandemic started. Like Emylee was saying, we've elevated some people. We've put a lot of trust in people. We've created some new systems. We've made some changes that needed to be made to make it into a real business and not just a kind of like fake it till you make it type business. And broadly, it's worked pretty well.
It's cool because, like I just said, like we made this choice for ourselves and for our family, but it ended up serving our business, you know, like it ended up being the right thing to do for our business and forced us into growth for the business because we wanted this so badly for ourselves. So it's fun kind of how that reverse engineer.
Yeah. And also, like, you know, Pharos Athletic Club now is better now than it was pre-pandemic. It's better run. It has better systems. It has better equipment. Like, we've managed to kind of navigate this tough couple of years and come out the other side a better facility. Now, there'll be people like the OGs that might say, oh, it's not like it used to be. And like Piet and Emylee aren't there as much anymore. And it doesn't have that same feel. And I know, I understand why people might say that. And I understand people will like miss us being there and stuff. And I miss them and I miss not being there as much. But I think, you know, it's hard. It would be hard to argue that Pharos isn't better now than it was there, because it is better. It's better run. It's better managed. We have a lot better systems in place. We have a lot more positions of management and of, you know, all the background stuff that it takes to run a big facility. You know, we have, you know, almost 650 members now, 22,000 square feet of space. It takes a lot to run an operation like that. And for the longest time, you know, we were, you know, doing it all ourselves and trying to manage it as best as possible. But it gets to the point where you can't do that anymore. You have to have a team in place, and you have to have structures, and you have to have real jobs with real opportunities. And you want to keep the team that you've built, and you want to offer them something, because, you know, no one wants to just work hour by hour, day by day for the rest of their lives. People want real opportunities with purpose, and you know, the prospect of advancing in your position and growing with the company, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's been a very it sounds weird to say a rewarding year because of what we came out of, but it really has. Like, I really look at it now. Yeah. Whenever I go to Pharos Athletic Club in Echo Park, and I see everybody, and I see all the coaches, and I see it thriving, and, you know, the atmosphere that exists there, I think to myself, man, we did a good job here. Like, it was a bad time for everybody, and of course, we're all still coming out of it, but I really think the team did a great job in navigating that time and coming out the other side again a better facility than it was when we started.
Yeah. And I will say it's funny because, you know, one of our biggest worries and staff's worries was that we wouldn't be there as much, and what would that like look like and feel like. And then we just had some staff reviews, and one of the biggest takeaways or like compliments that we got, like things I remember from the review, was someone said, you know, I was really worried like when you moved to Idyllwild that you wouldn't be as present as leaders, but I feel like you have been more present and more involved and more on top of things since you've been gone. And that was just like, one, exactly what we hoped, right? That we would be like, okay, let's put these systems in place and then support these people to do this mission and still be, you know, in every department and having meetings all the time and still very much involved.
Yeah, I mean, we have more meetings now than we've
ever had.
And honestly, like being away from the site itself gives you a better perspective, because you're kind of looking at the gym from the outside, and you're looking at, you know, all the different areas of the gym and all the different positions within the gym, and the way that the gym communicates with itself, and you're looking at that picture from the outside, and it's like you get a clearer vision of what it is, what it could be, what needs to change, what needs to grow. I feel like when we were there every day, just getting caught up in stuff and doing a lot of privates and doing a lot of the day-to-day stuff, you get swallowed by it.
Yeah,
and it's harder to see the bigger picture. But now, you know, being up here and seeing the gym really and truly from a more objective standpoint, I think we make better decisions. I think we're clearer. I think we have better communication. We've you know, increased our communication channels within the gym, which has been a huge part of it. And you know, to that point, that was something we had struggled with in the past. Like some people
we still are. It's a room for improvement continually. You know, like we say this, not having been like perfect at everything.
Right.
Like, you know, our pride in the past year is like, wow, we really weren't sure. And when we look back, we're pretty damn proud at how it all went. Could it be better? Of course, we can always improve, but we at least listen, and we tried, and we try to meet what the feedback is with some, you know, some actionable things.
So let's let everyone know, like, what are we actually doing in Idyllwild? What is our kind of day and week look like up here? I know, because we were kind of keeping
it secret there for a little while.
Yeah, like right now, our day to day, like let's let them know what our kind of life looks like up here.
Do you mean like morning, noon, and night, or do you just mean?
Yeah, I mean like with the sessions we do here, with the retreats we do here, with all that stuff.
So our we offer both experiences in the form of retreats, as well as private and semi-private training. That's kind of the main meat and potatoes of it. So in terms of experiences, that usually is either a weekend or a 3-night, or we've done intensives, week-long, 2-week-long, you know, depending on if somebody wants to come in and get and kind of working on something, a transformation, you know, need to get in shape for X, then they can come and kind of be immersed in morning, noon, and night training, eating, and you know, all that whole lifestyle. So it kind of breaks down into weekend experiences, or, you know, long-term transformation experiences, and then in that everything's included. So accommodations included, foods included, trainings included, you know, itinerary planned, all of that good stuff. And then other than that, in the community, it's been amazing to kind of just test out, like, is there a market for this? Like, I know when we first moved, we're like, do people work out in Idyllwild, or do they just do, you know, Idyllwild's very fit because there's a certain amount of prerequisite strength that you need in order to live on this mountain, because you are plowing snow and doing like things like that, you know? So everyone is quote unquote fit. And I think I've met some of people, you know, retirees. I've met more fit retirees in Idyllwild than I have anywhere in my entire life. Like people are fitter here when it comes to that. But I think we were just like, oh, do people like exercising, strength training, that, you know, our kind of vibe thing. And slowly but surely there is, you know. There
is. And, you know, a lot of that is, I think there are a good amount of families that were in a similar position to us. Like they had children, they had young kids, and they wanted to raise them in a safer, you know, environment with more outside offerings.
Access.
And yeah, so I think a lot of younger people have moved up here, and fortunately we've gotten to know a lot of them, if not most of them, and
if not all of them.
Yeah, if not all of them. And, a lot of them are training with us
Small
up
town,
here,
3,000 peeps,
which is super fun. But also like not just the young people, like a lot of our clients are in that older base. And they're all coming to train as well, and they're all super excited about it. And yeah, it's been a real eye opener that there is a market for it here. There is a business here. There is a yearning for health and fitness. And me and Emmy are like, we have to be the ones to service this, because that's what we do. Like that's our passion, like to bring fitness to a community and build a community. And that's what we're doing right now. We're really trying to like build and foster this kind of health and fitness community up here. And that intertwining with all of the entrepreneurial spirit up here right now, all the new businesses that are opening.
That's amazing.
But there are so many, like a bunch of our friends are all opening businesses. Whether it be
I think this past weekend 4 businesses opened up.
Yeah, cute little shops, like little family shops. There's no chains up here, which is great. So it's all local businesses, working with local farms, going to local ranches. All that good stuff. It's like, it really feels like a great time to be in Idyllwild and to be a part of the new kind of stimulus and new growth that's happening. It's amazing, and I'm really inspired by it and excited by it to see what everyone's doing, and I'm really excited for the future here, as well as for the future of Pharos, the brand Pharos as a whole, because I'm now seeing this new kind of synergy between what we can offer down there, what we can offer up here, the link between them and the possibilities beyond that. So it's a good time for the company.
Absolutely.
So we're doing all this. We're doing our retreats. I think we've done 5.
We've done
5 retreats?
I think 5, maybe 6 with some independent ones in between there. Because we also have a build your own retreat. So
yes.
We, advertise retreats, of course, and come for a weekend. And a lot of people may not know each other. We just had one where it's like 10 people and they all very much had never been in the same circles before. Or there are some people where it's more like pods or groups of friends that are like, yo, we want to get a retreat together. We want to build it, da-da-da. So we've kind of I think now total we've done 6 of those, which has been awesome practice. I mean, I remember our first retreat was our staff retreat, which was over 20 people and was just a big party mess. Like it was just a big, chaotic, amazing, insane whirlwind of a weekend. I remember thinking to ourselves, God, if we can do this, like this will be the hardest one that we've ever done. If we can do this, we can do any of them. And every time it kind of gets a little bit more seamless in terms of the logistics around the retreats, but also just the connection between all the people and the way in which we all interact and get to know one another, and the space that we make for that camaraderie. I think it's just getting better and better.
Yeah, I mean that is the word, really. That word connection is so important, and that really is what Pharos Mountain Lodge is all about. Like we've noticed when people come up here and they step out of their everyday lives, they get up here, they're eating fantastic food, we have the fire going, maybe a glass of wine. Everyone's just opening up and telling us their story, where they're at in their lives, where they've come from, what their hopes are for the future. Everyone's been very, very open, and it's been really revealing. And we feel like we've gotten to know our members better from being up here than we did necessarily down there, because down there, everyone's in their daily grind. Everyone's just getting on with the day. They're just trying to get a bunch of small talk. Whereas up here, it's a bunch of real talk, right? You're really taking the time to get to know each other and know the kind of nitty gritties about what everyone's past has been. What lessons have they learned? What their fears are? What their hopes are? What their dreams are? What their frustrations have been. Especially now we live in such a weird, strange time. And everyone's going through, a lot of soul searching, and everyone's going through something. Everyone's going through a lot of, exploration, and where am I right now? What do I really want? How do I feel about my surroundings? How do I feel about the city I'm in? How do I feel about the county I'm in? How do I feel about the world I'm in? Everyone's just like bombarded with all these like emotions and feeling. It's a great time to just share and talk and, not judge, not have, not shut people down and not let them have an opinion, but just let people talk and share and, go down that road, which for me is always far more interesting than arguing on Instagram or anything like that.
Sure.
What's the game called that we play?
We're not really strangers.
We're not really strangers. We play this game called We're Not Really Strangers, where everyone kind of gets to know each other. We, ask each other questions. And it's just a great way to break down barriers and reveal things about people that otherwise you just wouldn't know when, again, in your everyday grind, because you're just going through that small talk. But the connection is a huge part of it, and I feel like we're building stronger connections with our community in Pharos Echo Park, and we're creating new connections in Idyllwild, and those connections keep growing. And I think people are really kind of cottoning on to what we're doing and what we hope for, and that we want to not take from this community, but add to this community, add experience, add, again, connection, try and stimulate the businesses around us by investing in them.
That's been a fun thing for the retreats. Like, all of our coffee is from alpaca. We have a chef who lives in town. We, are trying to source from local farms, and we are, got little gift bags that have local, from local places.
Right. We take people to local shops.
People into town. It really is, it's a cool thing, because a lot of our friends are entrepreneurs in the same way that we are, and it's cool to be able to support them in that way,
and highlight them, and
because it's hard in Idyllwild. They make jokes like, a business will last maybe 2 to 5 years, and that's all. And the amount of businesses that have been coming through Idyllwild, and it's like, we want that whole attitude to change, where it's like, what's here?
Right.
Like, if you were, if you're here, then we want to support you. We don't want to just wait until, I remember when it was so-and-so, it's like, I want to support you while you are here, and try to make it so that you never have to leave.
Yeah, because it's really a vibrant time in Idyllwild, and I know there's a certain amount of people in Idyllwild that are kind of concerned about the growth, and they don't want their town to be ruined, they don't want their town to be spoiled, and I totally get that, because we all love Idyllwild for what it is, and the nature and the beauty of it. But that said, these new businesses that exist are fantastic businesses, great restaurants, great cafes, great stores, great shops. In order for them to survive, in order for them to thrive, we need the business from outside of Idyllwild. They can't survive on Idyllwild residents alone. So we have to get the kind of tourism in, the people that come up for these weekends, and the people that want to purchase, they want to invest, they want a piece of Idyllwild. So our hope is that people just celebrate it. People just celebrate the vibrancy, the growth, the stimulus, the community, all the good things. People often jump on the negative train too quickly. It's like, oh my God, this is going to ruin everything. Oh my God. It's like, just wait, just see, just let people live and have a good time and enjoy themselves. And, when I see the town busy, I don't think, oh my God, the town's so busy, it's so annoying. I think, great, great. The town's busy, it's thriving, everyone's having a good time. Look at all the smiles, look at the kids laughing, look at the businesses thriving, all that kind of stuff. It's like, if you look at the country as a whole, there's tough times. There's people are struggling. So when you see businesses thriving and you see people happy, fucking enjoy
Celebrate
it. That's a good fucking thing.
Yeah.
There's times to be, miserable and down on things, and there's times to be like, okay, great. I mean, thank God that the business is here, things are happening. People are getting outside their door. People are willing to take adventures. People are willing to explore. People want to be outside. They want to do things. The alternative, people just stay inside and don't do anything. And if that's what you want, then I don't know what to say to you. But for me, it's like, it's a great thing. It's an exciting thing. And I'm thrilled to be able to play a small part in it. I know you are too. And, I only hope that we can keep adding, keep building, keep growing, keep sharing, and keep doing everything we can to make this town, as good as it possibly can be. And that said, we could talk about our next little project, which is so we are going to open a little gym in Idyllwild. A lot of people ask us about this. Right now, we've been operating basically out of our lodge, which has a big garage, which we basically transformed into a gym. It's a nice little gym, nice equipment, nice little space. But obviously, this is a residential property, and we can't have people just coming and going all day. So we are going to open a little gym in town. It's not going to be huge. It's not going to be anything like Pharos Athletic Club.
It'll be tiny.
It'll be a little mountain gym. We haven't decided what we're going to call it yet, but it might be Pharos Mountain Fitness. It might be Pharos Mountain Gym. I don't know. But it'll be a small little gym where people can, local residents can train, but also a great space for people who are coming to Idyllwild for a weekend, can buy like a weekend training package, come, train, hang out. And then again, just sharing everything that's good about Idyllwild, but also be able to do all the fitness that you love to do. The town, it needs a gym. It doesn't have one. And if anybody else did it right now in Idyllwild, I'd be pissed. So we are going to do it. We're going to try and get it open by January 2023. And yeah, we're super excited about it. It's going to be, I'm going to make it super nice. It'll be small, but it'll be
essentially an indoor-outdoor space. So if you've been to the lodge, then you know our incredible monkey bar setup, our American Ninja Warrior setup.
Right.
So now we will move that away from our property and into the gym. So it'll be a cool kind of like a staple as you come into town, and it'll be a cool little indoor-outdoor vibe. I'm excited. I'm mostly excited for this, like from the purpose of like scaling. Like I said, like we were talking about, it's insane to think about a 22,000 square foot Pharos again, And I mean, we put on our imagination goggles and we dream, but there's something to the small boutique model that we've never explored before, because our goal was that we always wanted to give more. That instead of being a tiny space that offered one thing, we wanted to be an awesome, massive space that offered everything, and that you could get, all the bang for your buck in one space. And that's still very much a part of our overall vision and direction and promise. And so now it's kind of fun to be like, okay, in this, 3,000 person town, like how does that scale down, and how can we be as economic with the space as possible, right? Like it'll force us, right now we got 22,000 square feet, so we can kind of play Tetris a million times and explore and figure it out. But here it's like we really have to figure out, okay, how can we be as resourceful with each individual piece of square foot as possible, and how can we like scale what Pharos has been so far to this kind of smaller boutique style model. And if we nail this here, then I'm excited to see where that kind of takes us in terms of Pharos as a whole.
Yeah, and it's funny. I had my friend Jack Hennigan from the UK over, and he has, I think he has 3 gyms right now, and they're all smaller gyms, 3,000 square foot type of gyms, which is basically what this gym will be if you include the indoor and outdoor space. It'll be around 3,000 square feet. And I was saying, like, with rents the way they are now in California, and especially in LA, like, I don't know if another 22,000 square feet gym is possible. Like, I don't know if that opportunity is ever going to come up in the same way that it did to us before.
Especially even in other cities. I mean, we went around,
like
we did
everywhere.
some soul searching and went to some up and coming areas, and even in up and coming areas, rent is outrageous. Yeah.
So unfortunately, I think what you're going to see is in those spaces, just more of these big chain gyms, because, they're the only ones that can really afford the rent and the cost it takes to set up a gym like that. You need millions. Now, this gives us the opportunity to explore that smaller model. We have Pharos Athletic Club in Echo Park. We have that hub. And then it allows us to think about like opening these kind of smaller satellite gyms around which can't offer exactly the same thing, obviously, because it's a much smaller space, but it can offer the same quality. It can offer the same energy, the same atmosphere. We have our people in place to centralize things. So whether that's centralized programming or back-end stuff or, operation management or graphics or social media, that kind of stuff. Now that we have all that in place, opening these smaller facilities becomes more of a possibility, and a more economically viable possibility. So yeah, when I was speaking to Jack and he was talking about it, the way that they're doing it, and I was thinking, it's going to be really hard, a really hard challenge to open another gym on the scale of PHAROS Athletic Club. Not to say we're not going to do it, because I do still want to do that, but it's just a much harder and much more expensive, obviously, prospect that would take, some serious investment and some serious financial consideration. Whereas this feels something very doable, not without challenge, but certainly well within our realm of possibility and expertise. And, I think it's going to be a valuable asset to the town of Idyllwild, and also a valuable asset to, our business. And, when you look at our talents and what we can offer and what our team can offer, it's like looking in from the outside, it's like, okay, it's not just this one place. They are able to do these other operations and make them successful, and inject that same kind of PHAROS magic into whatever we kind of put our attention on, and we can make it work.
Whatever it is.
And that's really it. I think that's the same with any project that you work on and anything you do in life. You can make it work with the right attitude and the right energy and the right application. It's just about how hard you're willing to work at it. Like I said, it's not going to be easy by any stretch of the imagination. These things never are. But I think with a little bit of experimentation and a lot of planning, and with all the great people we have around us, some trial and error, I think we can do a great job and make it a really attractive space, and it have its own unique feel. It's a fun little mountain gym that's going to be very rusticy and very kind of working out in the woods kind of feel, but marry that with the technology that we'll have, and the quality of the equipment that we'll have, and the way that we're going to do out the space will make it feel, it won't make it feel janky. It'll make it feel
like a Pharos.
Yeah. So that's super exciting. So again, hopefully that will be
it's 100% will not open in January. I am here to tell you, when we opened Pharos, we were like, okay, what was it? We signed and found the space in November of 2016. We did not open until November of 2017. And we were like, it'll take a few months. 3 months. And then I remember going to Panama and what if we open in May? Didn't open in May. So I'm just going to be now, knowing what I know now, I will be the pessimist in the group. Peter can be the optimist of the group. Oh yeah, open in January 2023, and I'm gonna be like, March.
All right. Well, I'm sticking to my guns.
Should we take bets? I feel like this would be a fun thing to take bets on. Yeah. How about every location that opens, now that we know the saga of Pharos construction, the curses we've had up until this point, we should take fun bets, maybe open it up to the whole community.
It's funny because when people ask me what have you learned about opening a gym, I'm going to say it'll cost you 3 times as much you think it's going to cost you. It'll take 3 times as long, and it'll be 3 times as hard.
Yeah, they say 2 times. And you forgot that it'll cost 2 times as much. But for us, I think it was 4 times as much. Right. I think from our initial investments and projections and being like, look at our business plan and how prepared we are and everything that we know we're doing. And then 4 times. So yeah, 3 times as hard, 3 times as long, and 4 times the cost.
Yeah. That said, though, this is a much smaller operation. There's definitely going to be less hassles.
Well, yeah, but they multiply it at a smaller number, but it's still probably going to be 4 times. Again, pessimist in the group over here. I'm just going to be the risk analysis of the of the group.
Yeah. Well, January, March, whatever it is, we'll get it open.
Yeah.
It'll be fun.
We'll say winter, spring 2023. How about that? I say spring 2023. I think that has a nice ring to it.
Yeah. By the time the snow thaws, it'll be open.
Ooh, I like that. Yeah. That's true. What if we open on it's like, oh, day 1, we're going to open, then all of a sudden there's a snowstorm. It happens. It's Idyllwild. It snows here. Yeah. It's kind of awesome.
And also, like, you know, the great thing about having a gym in Idyllwild as well is like there's so many other, you know, activities and pursuits, like with mountain biking and hiking, all that kind of stuff. Rock climbing,
of course.
Rock climbing. There's a lot of climbers up here.
Yeah.
Trail runners. There's a lot of, you know, fitness communities that we can work with to, you know, amplify whatever they're doing.
But we're getting off track, Peter. Your question was, what did we learn?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. What have we learned?
What have we learned, Emily?
Well, it'll pass. No, I would say specific to the Idyllwild project. I will start by saying that I never had 100% confidence while we were doing this. Like, so I remember when we were working with the realtor, I was always like, oh yeah, let's waste a realtor's time. And, you know, whereas I feel like you were a lot more like serious about the like prospect. And then, you know, I remember we found that first space and I was like, oh yeah, bud. And then, you know, and then like, I just remember being pretty not resistant. Like, it's not like I ever said no. I really was just like unsure but I will say I trusted you. Like I never wanted you to know. I know we talked about this earlier, that I never really shared some of my because I didn't want to, like, you just seemed so confident that this was the next right thing. And I wasn't quite there and had a lot of questions. So I feel like I was very vocal about all of my concerns, but without saying, I'm not sure that this is a good idea. Like I never said that, but I remember feeling that in the pit of my stomach. And so it's cool to see a year later that it has worked out, that it's been awesome, that we've been marrying this lifestyle of living in the mountains, but commuting to the city. And, while it has its challenges, it like has worked. And so I think like the biggest thing that I've learned was that trusting you, like in our partnership, that it wasn't just my doubts. And so if I'm feeling doubts, it must be a bad idea, I just like trusting that we are a team and that we are, that it, that pursuing it to the end, to the nth degree, and seeing what happens, and just being, our two Aries self, ramming our heads through walls and trying shit out. It's working.
So here's what I've learned over the years. Like, you have to take gambles and you have to be willing to make mistakes. And in the end, it doesn't really matter. Like if I hadn't, all those years ago, if I hadn't gotten a plane to Salt Lake City, I would have never got involved with Jim Jones, and I would have never done any of the movie stuff that I did. If I hadn't done any of that, I never would have spent any time in America. If I hadn't have done that, I never would have met you and Jeff. If I hadn't said to myself in 2016, I'm going to buy this plane ticket to America and I'm going to make this happen, and I'm not going to come back to the UK till it has happened. And if I hadn't said that to myself, I wouldn't have opened Pharos with you and Jeff. Same thing with Idyllwild. Like if I hadn't said, we're just going to do it. Like if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. If you haven't lost anything, like it's just something that you do. You try something out, you do your best at it, you throw your energies into it, you take that gamble. You believe in it as much as you can believe, and you work as hard as you can work, and you throw your passion and love into it, and you hope to God it works. If it doesn't, what have you lost? Like if this hadn't worked out, we just sold out and moved back to LA.
Right.
So what? Like at least we tried.
Right.
I think a lot of people, and I think a lot of times in my I sound like an old man here. But
you totally
a lot of the times in my earlier life.
Here's what I've learned over the years.
There's things I wished I'd have done and wished I'd have just taken a gamble on and gone for, because not doing it, nothing happens. If I'd have done it and it had failed, nothing would have changed. So what? I failed. But I think at a certain point I said to myself, again, I sound like an old man here, but you're not going to live forever. Just fucking do things, because, the the looking back and realizing, fuck, I should have done that, is more scary to me than doing something and failing, or doing something and it not working out. So, if you are out there and you are thinking about doing something and you don't know whether to do it and you're scared of it and you're, apprehensive, just fucking do it. Like, at the end of the day, we all have to take risks. We all have to take gambles. We all have to take those chances. We all have to go new places, try new things, create new adventures for ourselves. And again, hope and pray they work out. But if they don't, what have you lost?
So good. I feel like I just fell in love with you all over again. I'm like, yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens in 2023. Maybe I'll eat my words.
But so far, so good. So far, so good.
So, guys, we are doing a lot of things up here. We'd love to see you up at Pharos Mountain Lodge, whether it be, we also do Airbnb up here for the weekends. We don't do retreats, so you can just come stay at the Mountain Lodge and, do your own thing. It's a beautiful town. It's a beautiful space. It's a special place. You guys should come check it out. Everyone who comes here feels a certain sense of calm, a certain sense of magic, and just the ability to breathe and just like wind down. So if you do just want to come for a weekend or a week or whatever it is, you can sign up on Airbnb. We also do of course do our retreats. We do them multiple times a year. We announce it on both on the Pharos Mountain Lodge Instagram and on the Pharos Instagram. So look out for those. We'd love to see you up here. Again, it's a transformative experience, not just physically, but mentally and spiritually as well. It's just a great time. Great food, great company, great activities, all the good stuff that life offers. And then, keep your ears open for our little gym that we're going to open in January of 2023 by the time the snow thaws. And we'd love to see you there. Come in, hang out. Like I said, it won't be as big as Pharos, but it'll be the same kind of, quality that you guys have come to hopefully enjoy and respect us for. So we will do our very best to uphold those qualities and those standards. Either way, whichever way it is, come up to Idyllwild, come see us. We'd love to show you around and show you this town. It's a special place. Apart from that, Pharos Athletic Club is doing really well. Again, like I said earlier, it's a better gym now than it ever has been. So if you haven't been to Pharos Athletic Club for a while, if you want to come and check out the new base, the open gym, we've added a lot to it this year. I think it's a fantastic facility, a fantastic open gym. Whenever I go down, I can't wait to get in there and just train because it's so awesome. Obviously, we have all our classes, great coaches, expanded programs. It's a great facility. I always said I just want to have the best gym in Los Angeles, and I think, I don't know, someone can argue with me that there's a better gym somewhere, but I haven't found it yet. So please come check it out, see what we have to offer, and enjoy the vibe, enjoy the energy, enjoy the atmosphere. It's funny. I went to a couple of weeks ago. I went to the LA Convention Center in town for
the Fit Expo.
A Fit Expo. And God, it was awful. And I looked around and I thought, God, this is everything that's just so horrible about the fitness industry. And then we went to the Bike Shed downtown, which is a new cool motorcycle bar / restaurant / club / store kind of thing. It's a really cool
Peter
vibe.
As a person.
And it was like this is more us. This kind of vibe is more us, and it's nothing to do with the gym. It's just it's just an atmosphere they create. It's just a feeling of this is a cool space to be in. Fitness does not have to be douchey.
Right.
It can be fun. It can be cool. It can be artistic.
Welcoming.
It can be welcoming. It can just be a great space, a great people, a great community.
Like you say, fitness is the great equalizer.
Fitness is the great equalizer. Yeah. So, if you want a gym that isn't super douchey and full of dogma and full of do it our way or the highway, just come check it out. Come see what Pharos Athletic Club is all about. But thanks for tuning in today, Emily. Thanks for joining me.
Thanks so much for having me.
Thanks for hanging out. I'm very proud of what we built up here, and I thank you for sharing that journey and this life with me. I'm glad we did this for us. I'm glad that we did this for our son. And yeah, I love the mountains. It's cool. All right, guys. Until next time, thanks for tuning in. Again, 1316 Glendale Blvd. Come check us out. We are on Instagram at Pharos Echo Park. We are on Instagram at Pharos Mountain Lodge. I'm on Instagram at Piet Vodden. Emily's on Instagram at Emylee.
Oh yeah, Emylee Covell. Yeah,
still on
change
Instagram.
that.
But yeah, check in with us. And yeah, we look forward to seeing you soon. Take care, guys.